All right, welcome Business 100 summer students. On to week two. Let's get it. All right, and just like that, we are already approaching week two. And so I try to get these explainer videos out to you the Thursday before the week kicks off. So we're not actually in week two until call it Monday next week. But just wanted to get this out to you so that you know ahead of time how to prepare. And if you want to go ahead and get started on week two, feel free. I'm just going to kind of wing this today. So we'll see how this turns out. As always, I'm going to start by going to the modules. Modules for me is always the best way to see how everything's organized, and I'm going to put the bow on the orientation and week one assignments. Again, if you didn't finish the week one or orientation assignments by the Friday deadline, I am extending those week one assignments to the following Friday before there's a penalty. It'll still say it in the system and it'll give you the late fee initially, but I'm gonna go ahead and manually correct that, and I'm gonna retroactively push the date back for any penalties to the 19th for week one assignments. But do your best not to fall behind because it will snowball on you quickly. Like I said, there's three chapters each week, so do your absolute best to get through all three chapters each week so that you don't leave a huge amount that's kind of just undoable all in one week. But anyway, FTX week. So let's talk about what that means. So we're going to open up our week two module. Let's just start by looking at the overview. So every week's going to have an overview like this. Here's where I'm going to insert the video. And and you can see, okay, what do we got going this week? We got chapters 3, 4, and 5, and then we have the FTX case. So what does that mean? Let's get into it. Business as usual on the chapters. So with chapter 3, let's see, we're talking about competing in a global marketplace. So globalization, trade, forms of business ownership, chapter 4. So this is kind of chapter 4 and 5 is kind of dovetailing on the entrepreneurship conversation from last week, or from week one, I should say. Technically, we're still in week one, uh, but we're on to chapter 2. So chapter 2 is going to kind of add more layers to that. So it's going to talk about types of business ownership. My brother Nick in the video, I forget if we got to it in the video or not, but he forms his business as an LLC, for example. So this will just talk about the different types of businesses, whether it be a sole proprietorship, a corporation, an LLC, which is just a type of corporation. So that's what chapter 4 is. And then chapter 5 will talk about managing a business and entrepreneurship. So all good chapters this week. And then our weekly assignments, it's going to be FTX case. So this is bigger than like the quick cases that we had last week, or we'll have kind of sprinkled throughout the weeks. This is a bigger case. It's a lot more to digest here. And let's get into that. And we'll just take a quick look at these three assignments. So let's look at the overview. All this articles and the videos just here to help understand what the case is. But really what you want to do is you want to start by clicking this case study and reading it. And it's an interesting case. It's an interesting case. It's about ethics. It's also about finance, and it's about basically the meltdown that FTX had in I believe this was the 2018. Was it 2022? Yeah, 2022. Yeah, 2018 is when things were popping off. So that was kind of the first kind of crypto pullback. But the big crypto pullback, which wiped out this exchange, this crypto exchange called FTX, which was Sam Bankman-Fried was the founder um, and the CEO of FTX. And it gets all into that in the case. But it just basically talks about uh, how they rose super fast, became the second biggest crypto exchange, and their decisions on ethics and basically lack of oversight of how they were running the company led to some shady practices, some stealing from their customers essentially, and then the ultimately SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, ends up going to jail. So it's all about ethics, and so it just kind of gives you a lot to digest on ethics. It's 12 pages of reading, and these are just exhibits. So you can see it's 25 pages, but 12 pages of reading. So that's going to be the biggest, kind of chunkiest case study we do for the full semester. Um, and then once you've read it, I want you to start here and go to the individual case questions. And you're just going to do, really, I just want one paragraph. If you need a second paragraph or two small paragraphs, but just kind of just one paragraph per question. It should take like a page, page and a half for the full assignment here. And just answer these questions in your words. You could see I am allowing you to use AI to kind of shape your thoughts, but it should by all means not sound or look like AI, right? No M dashes, no, no, none of this, no pulling facts, random facts from the internet. Only use facts that you read from the case that you understand. You do have to be able to speak to what you write. So you don't want to be pulling in terms that aren't in the reading because then I'm gonna say I'll probably challenge you on it and say, hey, you're welcome to get credit for this if you want to book a time with me and defend and explain what you wrote here. But it looks like AI, so I can't really accept that. But you could absolutely use it to kind of frame the outline and then put it in your own words. And again, your words, your thoughts on the case, use it as a tool, but not as a substitute for your thinking. And ultimately, I want to read your thoughts on the case and make sure that when you read what you've written, that you understand exactly. Because there's a lot of parts about this case, like when it comes down to like the nitty gritty and like these balance sheets, I don't expect you to understand all the financial sides of this case. It's really about the ethics. Like, so let's like, what are some other unethical business practices that led to the downfall? So pay attention to like what happened structurally within this company, the way it was structured, where there was essentially no oversight, which led to the collapse, right? So talk about that a little bit. Who were the key stakeholders? Stakeholders, anybody affected by the collapse, right? I'll let you kind of get into that, but that could be the customers, the employees, the I mean, there were investors, there was the public at large. Like there's a lot of stakeholders in this case. There was the celebrities who were endorsing it, the people who were consuming the advertisements from the celebrities, the general public, like I said. And what policies, maybe build in some of those policies that we read last, like we had our chapter 2 on ethics last week, where we talk about having a code of ethics. Did they have a code of ethics? Did they have a way of enforcing that code of ethics? I don't really know that they had very many company values established. And so that's kind of, just kind of throwing some ideas of my takeaways. But what are your takeaways? That's what I want to hear in this writing. This will be our longest writing assignment of the semester. So longest reading, longest writing. I know I'm kind of throwing a lot at you out up front, but just be prepared for that. And then when you go to the discussion board to write your personal write up, and then go to the discussion board, and then there's going to be 5 rounds here, and so there's a 20-point assignment, 5 rounds. There's 4 points for each round. So basically, you get 2 for just answering the prompt. You get 1 for being accurate and making sense, and then 1 is clear writing, clear and concise writing. And this one, I do want your 100% your words. Do not use AI for this writing because this is just reflections on little bits of video that you're going to watch. So I want to hear your reflection. It's really, there's not a whole lot of right or wrong answers here. There is a 1 point for being accurate, but it's really accurate within the framework of the video clip that you just watched. So just watch the video clip and then reflect on it, and it should be accurate. So pay attention to the time frame here. So notice that this video is a long video, an hour. I don't want you to watch, you don't have to watch the whole video, right? We're just going to take little bits of it. So I want you to watch the first 5 minutes of it and then give me 3 bullet points. What's cryptocurrency? Why does it have value? What's one real risk or weakness? And again, I don't want you to kind of go on the internet and do like a whole thing or write a whole paragraph or like pull in all these crazy facts, right? Just give me your take. Like, what is your understanding of cryptocurrency? Why does it have value? Um, I'll kind of give you the answer on that one. Basically, it's there's scarcity, right? There's supply and demand. There's only a limited supply of it, and there's people who want to buy it, right? So it's worth what people are willing to pay for it. And it's really supply and demand, and it comes down to scarcity of the digital asset because you're not basically able to replicate it into infinity. Um, so there's a tip for you. But anyway, go into that's round zero. Round one is going to be about another 4 minute little clip. Post and when you make your post, you could just post and then just keep replying to your own post. So you just basically have a chain of five posts. Round two, another kind of 3 or 4 minutes there. We tie it into the CSR pyramid from chapter, I think that's chapter one or chapter two, whichever one was on ethics. Round three, early warning signs. So now we're getting into the case. This is a little bit longer one. This is it's about 9 minute clip. So watch that 9 minute clip. And then lastly, we'll just kind of cap it off with the final 3 minutes here. So you're just gonna watch those little bits of this video, and it's already kind of prompted. We'll, let's see, the video should be prompted to start. Yeah. So it'll start at the time. So you just have to click play and then watch it till this point. So that's it. You're gonna have essentially 5 posts all in one chain, and you're just gonna reflect on those video clips. Um, and that's the whole bulk of the case, right? It's a lot to digest. Feel free to get an early start on it. If you finish up with week one, I'd definitely encourage you, even though I'm kind of giving a time extension. A lot of that is I'm going to be bringing in some late ad students. I'm giving out ad codes, so I want almost a chance to get caught up, but I don't want to you know, hold you to a different standard for entering the class earlier. I want to reward you for that. So basically, just give you all the same time frame, which is going to be 19th to get caught up. And then, so I definitely encourage you have it all done by next week. That would be the 18th. Uh, hmm. Yeah, so what I'll do actually, because I know that for next week, I know that the 19th is a holiday. Juneteenth is the holiday, and so I have everything being set to do on Thursday. So what I'll do is we're gonna leave it there just to kind of keep everybody on point, but I will extend next week's assignments to Saturday night, Saturday 11:59. I'll give you that extra grace period if you did turn it in late. I'll let you get till Saturday on the week two assignments. And then from there, then it's all business as usual. Things are always due on Friday till the duration. And we'll talk about other weeks as we get there. But that's all we got next week. We again, one more recap. We got chapters 3, 4, 5, and then the FTX case. And then make sure you're caught up on the week one and orientation assignments. And I'm here. Inbox is the best way to reach me. Otherwise, I'm pretty responsive on the Canvas inbox there. Otherwise, just go ahead and I'll be in virtual office hours on Friday, which will be on the 12th. So a couple days, where you're going to be seeing this Thursday at 9 a.m. So tomorrow, tomorrow afternoon, let's say on Friday, I will be available and you could just kind of click this link and drop in. And then, or you could just click here to book an appointment. Um, don't forget on the drop-in office hours. I will put this, I'll do a post before I open the office hours, like in the morning with this information on it too. But there is a passcode. So biz lowercase BUS 100 biz one, almost like bus 100. I almost feel like it should be BIS, but I guess business biz 100 is what we're going with. So I guess that makes sense. Anyway, that's what we got going. Here's the link for the virtual drop-in. Click here, click here. If you're just going to manually join, here's the meeting ID, but you're really just going to need the passcode. So click the link, do the passcode, drop in, say hi. Ask your questions. If it's a one-off, feel free to just a message, and or if you want a dedicated slot, then go ahead and book one of those Monday through Thursday slots, and we'll make it happen. Um, anyway, with that, that's all I got for you this week. Good luck on week two. Hope you're kind of getting up to speed on everything. I do kind of dump a lot on you in the beginning in hopes that you'll kind of figure out the rhythm and get into a good cadence of being consistent and staying caught up. And anyway, I'm here to help. If there's been a couple questions on like some quiz questions or this or that, and my job is just to try to make it as clear for you as possible and make it as smooth for you as I could. But again, it's a lot. It's condensed. That's the nature of summer classes, and you get rewarded for it by getting the same amount of units in a third of the time. So nothing wrong with that. All right. We'll see you. Have a great weekend. Bye now.